After a 12-hour flight from the United States, our first stop the next morning was Caesarea Maritima National Park. But what makes this place so important? Why was our first stop in Israel at Caesarea Maritima? Caesarea Maritima is translated to mean the city of Caesar by the sea. King Herod the Great had the city constructed from the year 22 BC to the year 9 BC. It served as a provincial capital of Roman Judea and later the provincial capital during the Byzantine Empire. One major problem the architects for King Herod had to overcome was the lack of a natural harbor. How did they overcome this? They simply built the largest man-made harbor in the world at the time. What you see in this aerial photograph are the remnants of two large breakwaters King Herod had built to form the harbor. The breakwaters were built using a special kind of concrete that would harden underwater. A requirement for every Roman city was an amphitheater. This one overlooks the Mediterranean Sea with a seating capacity of 3,500 people, and as you can see, it is still in use today. The city of Caesarea is mentioned multiple times in the New Testament, especially in the book of Acts. The city is integral to the story of the Apostle Paul, but more on that in a moment. A Muslim army conquered the city from the Byzantines in the year 640 AD. The Muslims ruled the area for the next nearly 500 years. During this time, the city lost its importance. In the year 1101, during the First Crusade, an army under the command of Baldwin I laid siege to the city. After a 15-day battle, the Crusaders took the city. The Crusaders held the city until the year 1291, when the Muslims permanently retook the city. I mentioned earlier that the city of Caesarea was integral to the story of the Apostle Paul. He was kept here under basically house arrest for over 2 years. It's believed these are the rooms he would have stayed in during that time. What we're standing on now is the hippodrome, or horse racing track. Horse racing and chariot racing was integral to Roman culture at the time. Standing there, I could not help but think of the movie Ben-Hur with Charlton Heston and its climactic chariot race scene. Here you see our fabulous tour guide, Philip Cool. If you're planning a trip to Israel, I highly recommend you contact him. I will leave a link to his website in the description below. What Philip is explaining here is that stone tablet was found here at Caesarea. On the tablet was engraved the name Pontius Pilate, who is of course the Roman governor who judged Jesus. These are part of the remains of King Herod's palace. The large square before you would have been his private freshwater pool. Of course, any port facility requires storage for all the goods coming and going through the port, and that's what we have here. These long, rectangular-shaped dome roof buildings were used for storage. This small section of the hippodrome was left unexcavated to show how deep the sediment was before the work began. The sediment dates back over 1,400 years and is full of shards of pottery and other remnants. Earlier I mentioned in the year 1101 the Crusaders conquered the city. In the year 1251, King Louis IX of France built this fortification and moat to help defend the city. In the year 1265, the Muslims permanently reconquered the city. They destroyed all fortifications and port facilities to prevent their reuse by the Crusaders in the future. The city was basically abandoned after its destruction in the year 1265. The Ottoman Empire took control of the area in the year 1516, but the city was never reestablished. Directly in front of the museum are the ruins of the required Roman bathhouse, for no Roman city would be complete without a bathhouse. Several of the original storage rooms have been restored and are now used to house a museum. In the interest of time, I will not go through the entire museum in this video. I'll just show a couple of quick highlights. One of the highlights of the museum is this display, which details some of the caches of coins that have been found in the area. I did want to show this quick shot of the restored ceiling using the original stonework. Just north of the ruins of the ancient city of Caesarea are the ruins of the aqueduct King Herod had constructed to supply fresh water to the city. The original aqueduct was 16 kilometers long. In the year 130 AD, the Emperor Hadrian toured this part of the empire. He commissioned an expansion project on the aqueduct. The project repaired the original aqueduct and expanded it, doubling its size. These twin aqueducts continue to supply water to the area for over 1,200 years. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and be on the lookout for more videos of our trip through Israel and other adventures.